RSI at its peak, enter or exit? I've asked myself that question 100 times, maybe more, during sleepless nights when the candles danced wildly on my screen and my mind spun, lost in the chaos of the market. If you're a trader, you know that feeling, the weight of indecision, the hope for a signal that promises certainty. Today I want to take you on my journey with RSI, the Relative Strength Index. It's a story of hope, heartbreak, and hard-earned lessons, a story I believe you'll see yourself in. I once thought RSI was my golden ticket to becoming a professional trader. 3 simple letters that held the promise of clarity in a world of noise. Sell at 70, buy at 30. It sounded so logical, so precise. A tool free from the ambiguity of news or the guesswork of price action. Numbers, levels, rules, what could be better? I was convinced RSI was the key to never losing again. I remember the first time I put my faith in RSI. Bitcoin was soaring, RSI hit 73, and I was certain a reversal was coming. I placed a sell order, set a stop loss a few $100s away, and waited, confident. But the price didn't reverse. It kept climbing, 75, 78, 80. I held on, telling myself, it's overbought, it has to correct. But it didn't. My account blew up, and I was left with this strange mix of anger at RSI and frustration with myself for believing in it so blindly. That loss shook me. So, I did what many traders do. I piled on more indicators. MACD, stochastic, moving averages, volume, anything to confirm RSI. But the more I added, the more confused I became. RSI just sat there, silent, as if it had nothing to do with my losses. One morning, I opened my trading journal and saw the truth staring back at me. Almost every losing trade had one thing in common. I entered solely because RSI hit 70 or 30. I ignored trends, news, key price levels. I was like a soldier crossing a battlefield, staring at a compass pointing north, blind to the cliff ahead. That's when I realized the problem wasn't RSI, it was me. I wasn't trading with understanding. I was trading out of fear. Fear of being wrong. Fear of losing. Fear of the market's chaos. I needed something to cling to, something to make me feel in control. RSI gave me that. A number, clear and certain, like a teacher I could trust. But trading isn't a dark room with a single lamp. It's a vast, ever-changing forest, and indicators like RSI, they're just a piece of cloth, easily swept away by the wind. When I accepted that, everything changed. I stopped asking, RSI's at its peak, should I enter? And started asking, why is RSI at its peak? What's the market feeling? Where am I in its emotional current? RSI became a whisper, not a command. I remember watching EUR USD when RSI hit 78. Instead of rushing in, I stepped back. I checked the bigger chart, saw a strong resistance zone, noticed the buying momentum fading, the candles narrowing. I waited. The price reversed, and for the first time, I didn't feel triumph or regret. I felt relief. I hadn't acted out of panic. I acted because I understood. Let me take you back to a spring when the market was on fire. Every stock was climbing, every index was green, and the air was electric with euphoria. Everyone was saying, if you don't buy now, when will you? But RSI was screaming, 70, 75, nearly 80. My mind shouted, it's too high, you'll chase the top. So, I stayed out, watching the market climb session after session. I read the news, scrolled through comments. Everyone was profiting. I waited for RSI to drop, and it did, 68, 65, 62. I thought, now's the time. I bought. And then the market turned. Prices fell, RSI dropped to 58, 52, 48. I cut my loss, defeated. The irony? When I feared the market was too high, it kept rising. When I thought it was safe, it reversed. That loss taught me something profound. RSI doesn't predict the future. It measures the present, the momentum of the moment. I used to think overbought meant an imminent crash, but I was wrong. Overbought just means the market's in a state of euphoria, like a person too excited to sleep. I looked back at strong uptrends where RSI stayed high for weeks and prices didn't fall. It was like a collective intoxication. When money floods in, RSI reflects that passion, not a signal to fight it. I stopped relying on RSI alone. For a while, I stripped my charts bare. No RSI, no MACD, no stochastics, just candles, volume, and key levels. I started to see the market as a living thing, not a puzzle to solve with a formula. When I was ready, I brought RSI back, but not as a commander, as a companion. I didn't wait for it to tell me to trade. One day, I was watching a currency pair in a downtrend. It spiked suddenly, and many thought it was a reversal, but the price action screamed pullback. RSI surged too, but its peak was lower than the last, a divergence. To me, it wasn't a signal to short. It was a confirmation of what I felt. The rally was weak. I waited for a retest of resistance. When a pin bar formed, I shorted. The price drifted down smoothly. I trailed my stop, took profit at 3-1, and closed my laptop. No stress, no rush, just alignment. That night, I wrote in my journal, RSI isn't a signal. It's a mirror, showing why I'm acting. RSI taught me to listen, not just to the market, but to myself. I once traded a price zone where I'd lost before. The price returned, moving slowly, hesitating, then bouncing slightly. I felt the market's indecision. RSI was neutral at 50, offering no push. That neutrality gave me space to think. When the price pulled back, I entered. The win wasn't huge, but there was no anxiety. I looked out my window and realized the real signal wasn't on the chart. It was in me. RSI isn't a compass, it's a clock, ticking to the market's emotional rhythm. Trading isn't just about charts, it's an inward journey. If you're expecting RSI to hand you wins, you'll be disappointed. But if you see it as a friend whispering, slow down, look closer, you'll never feel alone. You'll know when the market's lying with its euphoria or testing you with its silence. And you'll learn when you're trading from greed or from understanding. I'm not a trading guru, I'm just a trader a few years ahead, sharing the lessons I've learned the hard way. Thank you to RSI for teaching me not results, but reflection. Thank you to my losses for giving me time to listen to myself. And thank you for joining me on this journey. If this resonated, don't rush to apply it. Feel it first. Let trading be a return to yourself, not a chase for profit. If you're with me, like, share, and let's keep going. One day, you'll tell your own story, with or without RSI, with just a calm heart and a steady mind.